Okay, are you ready to get this started? I've got a few slides to show first before we actually do a demo. I've been working a little bit with Brian W7OWO up in Oregon. He's been trying to figure this out too. There's not a lot of documentation presented on this yet. I mean, their updates tell you a little bit, but it doesn't really tell you what they do, what it's doing. So this is an overview that we're going to talk about for our ARES group. It's kind of a communications between balancing authorities and operational entities when we need to use the E in the PACE or PACE plan. Over the past several months, Winlink has released a series of beta and production updates to both Winlink Express and RMS Gateway software suite. Of particular relevance is the additions of 5 new Winlink Express sessions types and 1 new message type. So the new RMS post office session types, if you go into Winlink, you can type open sessions and down the bottom. There's Pactor, VARA HF, VARA FM, Packet, and Telnet RMS post office. And then the message types, the new message type from the drop-down window is called post office message. RMS relay is an optional component used by gateway sysops for RMS packet and VARA FM and tri-mode, which is the HF portion of it. It manages local messages and storage for message forwarding, radio-only operations, and post office storage. When the gateway has internet access, RMS relay traditionally acts as a pass-through for TCP connections to the Winlink CMS cloud. Under normal conditions, the standard Winlink session modes, packet, Pactor, robust packet, RDOP, VARA HF, VARA FM, do not interact with the local post office except during CMS outages. Let me go back and look. Kevin says he's waiting for me to approve him. Okay. So the background of what RMS Relay has historically provided, it's historically RMS Relay functions during a CMS outage. Depending on the forwarding configuration, RMS Relay may provide RF forwarding. Messages received via RF are stored locally, and the tri-mode station attempts to forward them to other gateways with CMS access. But this is all done on HF, so we really don't have HF going here yet, so we'll see what happens. Messages are held locally until the recipient connects to the same gateway, and messages may expire based on sysop definition of retention. The default is 30 days. Background of what RMS has historically provided: continued hold for internet access. Messages are stored until the CMS connectivity returns. Once the CMS is reachable, the messages are forwarded as normal. Recipients connecting to the gateway can receive the stored messages. Standalone post office mode. Historically, the gateway always operates as a post office. Messages remain local until retrieved by the recipients or until expiration. Multiple gateways may share a single RMS relay instance. So, example of W7OWO-10, he has UHF, VHF, and W7OWO tri-mode HF all share the same RMS, so they can interact with each other, relay messages as necessary. And get message retrieved as necessary, depending upon the mode you connect. Radio only mode, messages are stored until the sysop releases them for forwarding to the recipient's message pickup stations. If you're doing radio only mode, I've never done it, but what I understand, you've got to set up what you want your message pickup stations to be, and kind of guess somehow you've got to communicate that out beforehand. I haven't used it yet, so I don't completely understand it. Up to 3 message pickup station entries can be configured by the recipient, and configuration is found under settings and hybrid network parameters if you're looking for that. And to my knowledge, none of the gateways in Cache Valley are configured as radio only mode. The new capabilities enabled by the post office message type. With the introduction of post office message types, the new RMS post office session modes, any gateway running RMS relay with the current software will automatically store these messages unless the sysop explicitly disables the post office function. Key behavior changes. Only RMS post office session modes can transmit post office messages. So you got to make sure you're in the post office session. Any gateway with RMS relay and current software will store post office messages regardless of internet availability. Even if the internet is still there and regular message can go, they can still store the post office messages, and they will. When connecting using an RMS post office session, a station will receive any waiting post office messages and any pending CMS messages if the gateway has internet access. So even though if you connect with the post office session, you'll receive messages that are just post office messages and your regular messages. So that could be convenient. RMS post office modes transmit only post office messages, but they receive both standard Winlink messages and post office messages. Packet post office, the good old TNCs, but we really have encouraging everybody to start using bar instead of the old TNCs. When using packet connection for your first time, it will ask you to select the special SSID needed for this RMS you're connecting to the post office. Most RMS gateways are accepting a -1. As you can see in this window here, it will come up on your, so you can select which connection you're going to use. Radio only, you can leave it none. I don't think you have to select anything there, but for post office, select a -1 for packet. So, and also when you connect, there'll be a message that says the SSID for this packet post office is a -1. In channel listings, I think they're working on making something better, but if you're connecting on HF, you can get a list of gateways that are running tri-mode, but a lot of gateways are running tri-mode, but they really have to be running in other modes too to get to show up on there. So it's kind of, you got to kind of know what's out there and what's not. I guess it's kind of a lot of experimenting somewhat, and we've been doing some of that, a group I'm working with. So VARA HF and VARA FM version tracking is not yet integrated into Winlink's listings. So the operator must ensure you are running the current versions to connect. These new capabilities make it feasible to conduct fully internet independent Winlink exercises. Although Winlink Express may still use the internet for non-message functions like propagation data, channel listing updates, message transport remains RF only. When using post office message types and RMS post office session modes. Operation planning considerations. Each communications group should identify which gateways they can reliably reach for post office operations. I think mostly around here, I think we should designate N7UWX-10 because it's in a location where I think almost everybody can hit it from the valley. Hard to reach locations may require some kind of a relay support. Internet stations that may need to be provided as a service, because I know there are other gateways in the valley that do support post office box, and maybe your organization would rather support one of them than N7UWX-10, but everybody needs to know that's where you go to get your messages. ICS 205, your communication plans, and ICS 205A, communications list documents, should be maintained and distributed regularly to ensure that all partners understand available paths and relay options. Software for VARA FM and HF and RMS Express. Both VARA FM and HF and RMS Express need to be updated to the latest versions for this function to work. So on VARA FM, which most of us have, you got to be updated to version 4.4.0. And if you're running a gateway, you need to have RMS Express running that is version 1-7-31-0 at least, or newer. So here's a list of the Winlink gateways we have in Cache Valley. N7UWX-2 is a packet digipeater on Mount Logan, so that if you needed to, you could digipeat from there and get to N7UWX-10 on packet. We don't have any VARA digipeaters. We might want to look at that. N7UWX, or I think W7LTH and AC7II-10 each are also running packet gateways too. So, well, not take that back. I'm not sure if Travis W9TLH is running packet or not, but he has two gateways running on 440, one on 440, one on 2 meters. And some of the ones up in Preston, I'm not sure they're on the way, which would be probably a good thing to have running something across the state line or something out of the valley, even though we're not relying on internet. I've always heard that the internet in Idaho is different than the internet in Utah. So if there's an outage in one state, the other one may be working, but we haven't really tried it. We ought to, I guess, sometime. Here's a quick map taken off of aprs.fi that show all the gateways and digipeaters in Logan, Cache Valley area, KD7IAW-10 in Preston, all the way down to AC7II-10 in Paradise. There's one over in Brigham City, if you can connect to. It's on 144.97, same frequency that N7GRF-10 is using. And there's a digipeater at Riverside, a packet radio digipeater that could possibly link them two together. So again, thanks for Brian, who helped me put this together or helped document all this stuff. Hopefully it helps everybody. So now we are going to try to get the demo gods to be nice to us today. We'll see how well that works. Let me stop sharing for just a minute. Everybody seeing that okay? So like I said, session types, you go up to open session. Oops, we didn't want open session yet. Your session types down here at the bottom are all the post office sessions. Preferably, hopefully everybody will be using VARA FM. That packet is available. So a couple of the gateways have packet available if you still need to use them. Also, like I said, the version number up here is 1.7.31, so that's better than the numbers they listed. And if you're running VARA FM, it doesn't say here. Oh, right there. Version 4.4.0 is the most recent one. So to create a message, you just create a message as normal. Clicking the button to start the message. Probably the first thing you want to do is, actually, I'm going to do something here. And everybody ought to know this. I have multiple call signs that I can go to. I have my call sign, W7CSO call sign, and W7IVM. So I can switch between call sign, sending and receiving stuff. I guess I'll have to shut that down for a minute. So I'm going to change to as if I was W7CSO to send the message. It changes up here. Create a message. It's coming from W7CSO. We're going to make this a post office message. We're going to send this to me. So, and then you just post it to your outbox as you normally would. And if you look in your outbox, it'll say PO message, so that you know that's it's correct. Now, if we open the session, and make sure I'm on the right frequency, I've selected. If you didn't know, if you check channel selection, you can find and it'll change the call sign for you. If you're running VARA HF, it'll even change the frequency for you, but VHF, UHF, it does not change channels. Double click on it. It changes the call sign to, and it tells you what frequency you should be using. It won't change it for you, but, and then if we click start, you can see down here in the bottom, it changes your call sign so that the post office box knows that it's a post office only message. Okay. And the message has been sent. If we go over here and look at the gateway, we can see there's a connection going on right now from W9TLH or LTH. And if we go up here to view, you can see the message waiting for local pickup. There's a few in there already, so people can pick up messages if you have something in there. This one here, oh, I thought I sent it to multiple. I guess I didn't. You can send, if in the to field, you can put multiple addresses in there. And when it gets to RMS relay, it will handle them as individual messages, even though there's multiple messages there. So now if we go back and shut this down, because I got to change call signs. And I go back to my call sign. Make sure I have the right post office or the right session selected. And I start. And so you can see right here, it says that this is you connected to the post office only, so messages get stored in a local database. And that's the indication that you did connect to the right network. So okay, disconnected. We'll shut that down and get it out of the way. And I have two messages. One from W7CSO, says testing, and one from Travis that says testing post office. So hopefully that's everything. It should work. Is go ahead and mute yourself if you have any questions. Anybody out there have any questions?
So Tyler, this is Kevin.
Yeah.
Just if I understand correctly, N7UWX-10 is running in post office mode, and that's what makes this work. Is that correct?
Yeah, it runs regular Winlink mode too, but it's running a post office too. So you can connect and send messages as normal, or you can connect and leave a post office message.
Okay, and when you connected to get that message, it automatically downloaded them. You didn't have to go and choose them.
Yeah, you just had to go and make sure you connect with the post office connection, and it'll download them for you.
Okay.
And if you connect with the post office version, it will, if you did have messages waiting, regular message in the CMS, it should download them too. So you should get all your messages at the same time.
Okay.
Hey, Tyler, it's Travis.
Yes.
Thanks for putting on a great demo and good instruction here. I was thinking one thing in one of the things we've been trying to do in our local Smithfield area here is to enable operators to just use a laptop and a handheld,
Uh-huh.
And so in order to hit a post office like N7UWX, I was thinking I can set up if we're in an emergency situation or doing an exercise, I could enable one of my nodes or have another node that I could just enable as a digipeater on that N7UWX10 channel.
Yep.
That way they could continue to work their post office exchanges.
Yeah, I've been thinking about a VARA gate digipeater too, and I've got a computer I could build one with, but I haven't done it yet. So yeah, we need to think about that too. Because if you're trying to connect with a handheld, it could work, probably would work, but unless you have a good mag mount external antenna or something,
right,
it's going to be questionable.
Right.
Okay, now we're going to.
We have we have VAR digipeters at the sheriff's office that we've set up.
No, we don't have a VAR digipeater set up there. Or yeah, we
Mine
do.
is.
We do. But we got to make sure it's on the correct frequency to do.
Right. That's the
Right.
key.
Right
Yeah.
now it's on whatever happens, because like right now, the one is set up on 090 because that's what we're going to be using for testing. So our next, go ahead, Ted.
Also, I put in the comments, but for the exercise, the first thing is we're going to leave a message in the post office, which will tell you what the next step is. To do that, we're going to need all of the call signs that you use at your ECC that you will be connecting to the post office with, so we can have those in the post office, because we can't just send out a broadcast message. It has to be, we have to list all of your call signs. So what we'll need that info, and I've sent out an email form about a week ago to try to capture all those call signs so we know which ones to use.
And the other part of our exercise could be peer-to-peer. So we're going to go quickly through a peer-to-peer session. To do a peer-to-peer session, that's what you need to select here, peer-to-peer message, who it's going to go to, what it is, make sure you still have this selected, post it to Outbox. If you go to your Outbox, you'll see there's a peer-to-peer message sitting there waiting to be sent. And then you got to make sure you open up a peer-to-peer session. Peer-to-peer, you have to, both of you have to be on the air at the same time. You can't just randomly send it out and hope it gets there. So possibly in the exercise, you're going to be told to send a peer-to-peer message to W7CSO. You should just be able to click start once you've got the right session. Well, it was working when we left today. I don't know what happened there. So anyway, that's, you'd click start, it would connect, it would send the message. If you had any waiting messages on peer-to-peer, it would download them at the same time. Peer-to-peer can be set up by anybody, anywhere. But like I said, both people have to be on the air. You have to be on the same frequency. It has to
Kind
take
of
a little,
clarify that you don't have to be sitting there.
yeah, your radio has to be on, your computer has to be on, it has to be running the right session.
If someone is already trying to send a message and has made the connection, can another one make the attempt? I mean, we won't be able to see if someone's already talking to W7CSO.
Oh, you should be able to if you listen to your audio. It should tell you. I mean, if you're watching the volume meter, or if you're hearing noise on that channel that's not yours, that should be an indication that somebody else is trying. So make sure there's nobody else on the frequency when you're trying.
Thank you.
I don't believe the FM does like HF. HF will tell you that it appears to be busy, It doesn't do that on FM, does it, Tyler?
That's
Uh,
a negative. You have to be listening. I like to have just a handheld radio right there to listen to the traffic. You actually have to wait. Yeah.
We'll see if I can. I have 2 sessions running there at the sheriff's office. We'll see if we can connect by packet.
So the connection type for both
I know why it wasn't. I'm not on the right frequency.
the connection type for both is direct for peer-to-peer, obviously, and also for the post office mode.
Yep, they're direct. They're peer-to-peer, basically. This should work a lot better now. I'm on the right frequency. So yeah, make sure you're on the right frequency. With Vara, you should be able to watch your meters and see what's going on. With Packet, you'll probably have to listen. And I encourage everybody to get out there and try it so we can find out if there's any failures in the system anywhere too and what we need to work on.
Tyler, are you going to make your PowerPoint presentation available to us on the
Yes.
BARC website?
Yes.
Thank you.
Tyler, this is Dave.
Yes.
So getting back to the very beginning, the main difference between post office and regular Winlink is the way that the messages are stored.
Yep. Post office is stored locally. Regular messages are sent out over the internet.
And then that just can affect how long that they are available to be picked
Yeah.
up.
If they get left on the post office, I think I have mine set up for 30 days, but I can't remember. I ought to go check that and see. So you can see here, there's some post office messages here.
Okay, so that means that the post, yeah, I think you mentioned that in the presentation. So post office is not internet dependent.
It's what?
It is not internet
No.
dependent.
If you don't have internet running, post office works.
Yeah. Okay, that's the big difference right there. Thanks.
Right now, my messages are set to purge them after 21 days. Maybe we'll make a change and change that to 30 days because that's not a bad idea. Because you never know. Hopefully, people are picking them up more often than that. So,
Also, because we have no internet, you have to only use Winlink email addresses because it's not going to go out to somebody on the outside of on the internet. So like where with the normal Winlink you can send to anybody's email address and it will go to them, and this will not.
yeah. And probably we ought to briefly talk about HF. We don't have a gateway that actually will do post office in the valley that's running HF, but there are HF gateways around the country that do run post office and you can leave messages for. So you could think about if you needed to send a message outside and somebody else could connect to that same gateway and retrieve a message too. So
Tyler, I have a question.
Yes.
Travis. So I was just thinking, if you had a real emergency, you've got your gateway standing up, sitting there. I mean, your post office sitting there. It's not going to take very long before that thing gets overwhelmed with traffic, right? So I think our other gateways, if you had a catastrophic thing where no one can get to the internet, then we'd probably want a protocol where you start with the N7UWX10 gateway to pick up your message, and there would be a, hey, let's take and convert W9TLH10, for example, over to post office during this internet outage, right? We'd probably want to be able to hand those off so we don't oversaturate N7UWX10, right?
The only problem is the thing that makes it hard is if you have a message, you expect somebody to, you'd have to leave it in multiple mailboxes or multiple post offices, which you could do, but you gotta plan for that too.
Yeah.
Because if I'm planning on just sending it to one place and everybody picking it up there and they check somewhere else, they ain't gonna find it.
Mm-hmm.
That's something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you leave it in multiple spots, then you create more traffic for people saying, well, I got to check this post office, that post office, and the other. I at first said, Tyler, yeah, let's set one up on mine too. And then we started to think it's better if we keep it as minimum as possible. So, if I want to get something from the post office, this is where I go in this valley.
You could always do some coordinating on radio. Somebody could download it and post it on the other post office, or something like that. You never know.
So it would be to our benefit to ensure then that our VARA tuning with N7UWX10 is really optimal so that when people connect, they're on and off quickly, right?
Yeah. Here's a map of all the HF stations in the country that are on the air. You can pick to connect to. There's one down here in Davis County, which I cannot connect to. It's too close. I'm pretty reliably get up to Idaho, South Dakota, the ones over here in Colorado, further away is kind of a better if you're thinking HF.
So on the HF side, since it's so slow with Winlink, it seems, I've read or listened to some folks like in LA and stuff, they actually don't use put an HF node on their gateways. They basically have a strategy where they're communicating with VARA FM, and then if you really need to get out, you designate somebody to just those specific messages they send out with a straight
you wouldn't want
Winlink.
to send everything there and expect everybody to connect and get off. And a lot of these gateways are running pretty fast data modes. Some of them are 500, but most of them are 2750 or in 2500. So, HF is still pretty fast. It's a lot faster than it used to be. This is almost Pactor 4 speeds now, but still.
And you actually get those speeds in practice? With your
Sometimes
HF?
it depends upon propagation and how your signal's getting through. I've seen some pretty good speeds really sometimes, but other times no.
If they are slow, I usually change to another one, but I usually, it isn't as fast as VARA FM, but it's a lot faster than it used to be, and I almost do all of everything that I can on HF just because it's a lot more fun and
better practice.
So are you going to go over how we're going to use this on the SET, Tyler?
I'll let you do that if you want to.
Whenever you're ready, I can.
You want me? You got something to share?
No.
Oh, okay. Go ahead then.
So if you saw the announcement that we've sent out about the SET, anything that is of the normal messages that you're sending, go ahead and send that through the RMS. Send it the way you would normally send it. And like if you're sending forms, templates, anything like that, go ahead and connect to your whatever gateway you want to and send it that way. Or if you don't have that, go ahead and send it through Telnet if you don't have a radio. And then, but we would also like you to experiment with the post office. So, and that will be, so sometime in your exercise, make a post office connection to read what's in the post office for you. And that will give you a message, and it will tell, we're going to have you do a task to answer us, and we're going to have you connect peer to peer when you get your post office message to answer the question that was left in the post office. And that will be a peer-to-peer station that we will have set up just to receive peer-to-peer messages, and to get everyone used to using these in case we do lose the internet, or just to exercise you. But normally the rest of the messages are either going to be over Winlink, VARA, or packet, and over voice during the exercise. Anyone have questions on that? Okay, back to you, Todd.
So this here is a map of station VARA FM stations that are currently on the air. This map is on winlink.org. If you go to tools, you can select the different modes so you can see what's there. This is running VARA FM, and it's showing us what we have up in our area running. Also, if you go in on Winlink, you can go and look at your webmail. Webmail is like your webmail, but it's just going to show you Winlink messages. I don't have any there, but that kind of shows you there's another option to retrieve your mail if you need to. So anyway.
Show the difference between the VARA and the packet.
Oh, yeah, let me go back and
Gateways.
share that again. You go to tools, wait for the map to load. Default, when it comes up in Pactor. I don't know why not many people use it. So if you go to, we'll zoom in here first. There's one Pactor node in Utah. If you go to packet, maybe. Being a little slow. Maybe it's because packet's really slow. So that kind of shows you right there. Packet's still out there, but it's kind of sparse. Maybe my computer's being slow. So packet is still there. Greg's running it, Ted's running it, I'm running it. He's running it over in Brigham City, and Red Spur is running it. So, and there's one running up in Preston. But if you go look at Vara FM, anytime now, anytime now. Come on. Now, if it's slow on my end or slow on their end. But it's being really slow. Well, we'll let that run. Any other questions? Anything else you have, Ted, that might be useful?
There's a question from Brent on what the peer-to-peer frequencies are. Where they're not really reserved, but
Yeah, it's not really reserved. We have a list of them that you could possibly use, but we'll have some we'll suggest if we're going to expect to get them.
Yeah, well, for the exercise, we will tell you the call sign and the frequency of the peer-to-peer. And remember, peer-to-peer, we're not looking for gateways. As long as you know what the other person's frequency is, it just runs between your two RMS expresses. You don't need any other special software. So.
Yeah, I think my computer's slowing down. Too much running. So if you go to the doc where we've created for all the frequencies that are being used by the different organizations, down the bottom, there's a tab that says Winlink. Here's all the gateways we have, but over here on the side is all the frequencies that are suggested to use for Winlink, and it shows you the suggested ones for peer-to-peer if you're going to do it other than that. But there's plenty of other frequencies in there too. So.
And you can find the link to that under the ARES page on the BARC website.
But it's nice. We got all the city stations and everything, all the groups, their frequencies, Winlink, and we have GMRS frequencies listed in here. This list here shows FRS and GMRS, who's using what by city. So if you haven't seen this, it's a very useful document. Anything else? Any other questions? Any more questions in the comments, Ted?
Not that I caught. There's some more questions, but I didn't catch them all.
Okay. If nobody has anything else, I thank you, everybody, and we will save this recording, hopefully, and get it out along with the presentation so that everybody can make good use of it and share it with people that weren't able to attend and stuff. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Tyler.
Good presentation.
You bet.
Thanks, guys.